You would think with the dismantling of Chris Kresser provided by none other than one of the producers of the Game Changers movie, James Wilkes, that Joe Rogan would maybe reconsider his diet, or at least reconsider where he's getting his diet information from, or his nutrition information from, as Joe used to always refer to Chris Kresser as an expert in the field of nutrition. But now instead he's using this guy.
According to Dr. Sean Baker, I don't know if he's correct, but he's a carnivore proponent. He says that what's got to happen is your colon has to adjust to the fact that you're no longer consuming carbs, and your body has to figure out how to deal with all the liquid.
You lose weight.
It's like Joe is taking steps backwards for some weird reason. He went from depending on Chris Kresser, certified professor of the month, by the way, for those who are not aware, to now relying on Sean Baker. Whoops. Oh, excuse me. I mean, Sean Baker, the dimwit idiot king. I mean, to be lower than a professor today is pretty damn hard, but this guy, you know, he definitely takes the cake if that cake was made out of idiocy and stupidity. I know it makes no sense, but you know, like neither does Joe or Sean Baker. Joe openly admits that he's not sure if Sean Baker is correct, but yet he's willing to do this stupid quack idiot diet. You know what? That's what I'm gonna be calling it from now on. The SKID, the stupid quack idiot diet, which is a damn good acronym synonymous to the skid marks that you're gonna leave in your underwear if you do this ridiculous diet. And if you don't think SKID is a great alternative, or at least a perfect alternative, then I think Joe's Toilet may have something to say about that, if it could speak, of course, because apparently there are some legendary events occurring or being endured by said toilet.
First of all, my diarrhea is legendary. Like they would talk about it in books.
You used to
like,
get diarrhea?
No, I do get it right now.
That's the carnivore diarrhea.
Scholars in the past, if they encountered this kind of diarrhea, they would assume it was haunted by demons.
You get
I took
it
a
now?
photo,
But
man,
that can't be very healthy.
Oh, it's the most healthy.
Why? Wait, hold on.
It doesn't
Stop.
get any
Clear out your
healthier.
system.
Yeah,
Science.
So you're getting diarrhea and you're eating your carnivore diet.
Yeah, Joe, maybe your diarrhea is legendary because that's your asshole's and digestive tract's way of informing you to stop eating a whole bunch of animal flesh and animal fat and animal secretions. Now, I will say this. Some of you may not know this or be aware, but Joe Rogan is a huge inspiration to me. He was the one who inspired me to start this whole Brofessor of the Month series, as Joe Rogan himself is the first Professor of the Month. Ah, little Hulkster, what did you get yourself into? You have so much to learn. Joe Rogan became the first Professor of the Month because he notoriously will say completely absurd things such as,
is that dietary cholesterol has very little effect on blood cholesterol, on body cholesterol. Most of what people have with high cholesterol, a lot of it is genetic, a lot of it is sedentary life. There's a lot of factors. Diet is one of those factors, and there's also some people that just genetically should never have a high cholesterol diet or a high saturated fat diet. Genetically, it's terrible for them.
Where is Joe Rogan getting his information? Oh, that's right. He's a professor, and it doesn't matter because professors get all their information from anything that suits their bias to justify their shitty lifestyle habits, no matter if it affects the lives of millions of influential listeners or the helpless animals he's killing. For the record, and for those who may have been living on the moon, consumption of saturated fat and dietary cholesterol does affect serum or blood cholesterol levels negatively. It has been shown unequivocally through multiple controlled studies that when high cholesterol foods are ingested by humans, their cholesterol levels rise. As shown in this study, feeding grown men low or zero cholesterol meals had zero or minimal effect on serum cholesterol levels, but there were significant changes in serum cholesterol levels when these same men ate upwards of 280 to 710 milligrams of cholesterol in a meal. So if Joe is saying consumption of dietary cholesterol has no effect on blood cholesterol, then why did the young men who participated in this experiment, who had starting LDL cholesterol levels of about 2.74 millimoles per liter, which equates to about 106 milligrams per deciliter, which is actually about 36 points higher than what is considered optimal to avoid the progression of atherosclerosis, have their cholesterol levels rise when they consumed anywhere between 280 and 710 milligrams of cholesterol in a meal. Are they just genetically screwed over? I mean, did God just say, hey, sorry guys, I'm gonna make sure you guys are going to be riddled with heart disease and brain disease and kidney disease and like lower back pain and limp dicks and whatnot because your genetics just simply don't allow you to eat anywhere between 280 and 710 milligrams of cholesterol in a meal. Sorry guys, sucks to be you. Of course not. That's a special snowflake mentality that is going to end up probably getting Joe sick and anyone else who thinks that dietary cholesterol and saturated fat does not affect cholesterol in the blood. Of course, there's going to be people that might think that, well, 280 to 710 milligrams of cholesterol in a meal is actually, it's actually kind of high to be consuming. And I would actually say, no, it's not. Somewhere between 280 and 710 milligrams of cholesterol is around between 1.5 eggs to about 3.8 eggs if you want to be exact, which I'm sure Joel's eating a whole bunch of as he loves to eat eggs. I'll be the first to say, honestly, I'm pretty embarrassed and I hate to admit this, but back in my days when I was a meat eater, I was easily able to eat about like 6 eggs in one sitting. No problem. I can only imagine how many eggs and other cholesterol and saturated filled pieces of flesh and secretions Joe is eating on a regular basis as a 200-pound man who sounds to have he has a pretty active lifestyle himself. I really don't know, but I could only assume it's a shitload since, he's on the skid, remember stupid quack idiot diet, and he's convinced himself that eggs and cow flesh are completely healthy and nutritious for human consumption. Of course, just to put the final nail in the coffin, there is this meta-analysis of controlled experiments showing the effects of baseline serum cholesterol levels and consuming different amounts of dietary cholesterol levels. This meta-analysis shows that once your cholesterol levels hit a high enough level, only consuming more cholesterol than what you're already consuming will raise your cholesterol that much more, and it will actually have a less and less effect the more you consume because you are already sick with high cholesterol. And for those of you who are still trying to promote saturated fat as a healthy nutrient to be consuming, well, guess again, as this meta-analysis of 395 metabolic ward studies actually show here that consumption of saturated fat does indeed have a negative impact on serum cholesterol levels. Go figure, what a freaking surprise. I wonder if that is clear enough for anyone on the skid, or what these dimwits like to call the carnivore diet. Now, if we could just get Joe Rogan to view this video, that would definitely be great. This would probably clear everything up for him. Yeah, probably not, as this guy is suffering from a horrible case of cognitive dissonance and has financial interests that profits off the lives of other sentient beings. Clearly cannot be interrupted because obviously there is no other way to make money or eat in the United States but the way that Joe Rogan's doing it. I mean, clearly this guy has got it all figured out. I'm gonna go on a bit of a vegan rant here, so go ahead and click off now if you have a problem with not aligning your morals to your actions because you're a snowflake bitch who's too weak to make any positive changes in your life. So go ahead and click that X before I start here. Are we all forgetting this is completely unnecessary? How many times does it have to be repeated by myself or by anyone else who is partaking an active role in sharing the science and just essentially moral and ethical common sense? Eating animal flesh or the secretions of an animal is completely unnecessary and is bad for human consumption based on the science. Therefore, harming and exploiting these animals is completely done in vain today. You don't have to enslave, rape, torture, gas, suffocate, mutilate, and murder sentient beings for survival. To the contrary, it actually lowers your chances of surviving. So don't be a part of this heinous shit. I mean, this shit is common sense. A whole foods, plant-based vegan diet will suit you for whatever it is that you want to do. So do yourself a favor, stop being a coward, leave the damn animals alone, and start eating the foods your anatomy is designed to consume. This has been another broadcast and message from the Natural Hulkster, and I hope it has helped you in some shape or form. And if it didn't, Well, then I think you know what you can go do with yourself. You guys know the deal. Please feel free to do any of the 3 things you see behind me if you haven't already. And please let me know what you think in the comment sections down below, as you know I love to engage with all of you. You know I appreciate all of you. You guys know who I am. I'm the Natural Hulkster. I want to thank you for watching. And please stay tuned for the next one.